Miniature Market has thousands of board games at discounted prices. Click the direct link below for After Us or any other game. Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today we are forensic scientists looking into a crime, looking at location and hobby and profession and weapon, and we're trying to come up with the right answer. Today we're taking a look at Glitch Squad, which was my number 3 most anticipated game of Gen Con. It was Greg's number 1. By the way, if you haven't seen those videos, go back and look at my channel. We've got a lot of content for you, the games that are releasing at Gen Con. Let's show you how this one works. Glitch Squad is a team-based word party game where each of you is going to have your own little secret password, and these cards look like this. One of these you're going to be trying to guess, and over the course of the game you'll be learning more and more about what that word is, and you're going to be doing so by trying to write and guess clues, write for your team and guess from your team different clues about the profession, the hobby, and the weapon of the crime that's committed, because you are the Glitch Squad. You'll also be dealing with forensics, and of course there is Glitch the cat. Now we have a 4-player game. The blue teammates sit across from each other as well as the yellows. Now each player is going to write 3 clues for a piece of evidence. Now, each round is something different. First round it's a location. So what happens is every player gets their own location. So everyone has their own card, but everyone's working off the same number just to keep things easy. So let's just say everyone decided, hey, we're just gonna go with number 2, right? So number 2, this is gas station. But you know the player to my left or right, or even my teammate across the way might be having hardware store, for example. But everyone has a different one, and so I'm trying to come up with 3 one-word clues that are not proper nouns that come up with gas station. So what I do is I write what the evidence is, it's gas station, and I write my 3 one-word clues. Now, each of these has a letter on it, P for example. This last clue has to start with P. So I wrote like octane for gas station, petro for gas station, and drinks, because a lot of times you go to the gas station, you get like, a Slurpee or what you have it. Now I'm trying to get my teammate across from me to guess gas station from only being able to see these 3 clues. When I'm done, I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to basically, I'm going to close it, and I'm going to pass it to the player to my left. Now keeping in mind that the player to my left is my opponent. They're going to get to add a glitch to my clue before it gets to my teammate where they get to guess. And this part's sort of all simultaneous. Everyone's writing clues, then everyone will pass. So let's say everyone has passed. So now it would have looked like this. So the one that we had done is over here. This would have been my opponent sitting, and I would have gotten something from another player. So let's just pretend we were the opponent that received the one that we had just showed you. Now remember, we wrote gas station, and we wrote octane, drinks, and petro. So that other opponent is going to basically take one of these and replace it with something that they want to write to throw us off, or throw my teammate off. Now remember, they could remove petro, and if so, they don't have to start with a P. So let's see what they come up with. So once they've done this, they will take this, they'll flip it over, they'll write it in this case, and again, you can reorder things too. So it was octane, drinks, petro, and now it's caffeine, so I swapped petro with caffeine, I put octane and drinks. And so when I'm done, you put these, they have these little things on here so it doesn't wipe off. You flip it to the cat. So once everyone's done, it gets passed. So what's happening is now my teammate that's across from me has what I gave, the word, we're trying to get them to guess gas station, but they're going to have 20 seconds to figure this out. So I'm going to flip this over here, and now this is what they see. Now remember, caffeine wasn't one of the words. It was petro. And so I'm trying to get them to guess gas station, and they see caffeine, octane, drinks, and they're probably going to say energy, right? Now, they can guess as many things as they want during this 20 seconds, as many times as they want. If they're right, you say, yep, you got it. If not, we'll see what happens. So the cool thing is you get to guess as much as you want. Let's say they don't get it. If they don't get it, the other team, which is the one that glitched you, gets to pull, or the person that wrote the glitch, that stumped, gets to pull this out. Now again, remember, we're always working on number 2 because that was the one that we decided for on this round, this game. So 2. So they have M, and everyone else is going to do this in turn order. So they're going to try to guess there. Now, if they got it wrong, like they did, a forensic card will come out, and this is going to be the same card for the whole round. It says glitch tells you which clue is added, but they can lie. Okay, so we might go. The glitch person goes, I added octane. And that might help them. They get 1 guess. I highly recommend you use the timer for that too, even though it doesn't say you do. But some of these will say something like, hey, choose a clue. And the glitch will reveal if that clue is added. Then you might go, did you add octane? They might go, no. So you know that's not the real one. Or maybe sometimes they have to tell you, They have to reveal which one is it. Yeah, I added caffeine. So now they know it's like drinks and octane, right? So maybe they're like, oh, gas station, right? So that's how it works. Now, every player is going to do this and figure it out. Now, if this player got this, right, and then they said, and the glitch said, nope, caffeine's the one that was added. If they guess gas station, well, even though it was a sort of a second chance, they also get to pull this out one spot, and everyone's working on number 2. So that's how it works. You're going to end up pulling this out like 1 or possibly 2 times per round if you stump the other player and you get yours. And then every player in turn order is going to be able to possibly guess their clue. Now, even though you're on a team, every player has one of these, and it's the team where everyone gets one of gets this right wins. So, for example, let's say the next round we got this and this, and it's S-A-L, and we're like, oh, is it salamander? By the way, the rules say these are between 5 and 9 letters, and they could be 1 or 2 words. And we go, yeah, we want to guess, we want to guess salmon. We pull it out, we're like, yay, salmon, this person got it right. Now, for the rest of the game, remember that the first team that gets all these right first wins. And each player is guessing on their own. If later on a future round, if we're not done, and I guess it right or stump somebody, I can pick another player on my team to slide theirs out 1. So it kind of like speeds the game up towards the end. If I had guessed salamander and it was not right, then next round I don't get to use this card. And that's pretty much how the game works. You're going to be the first team to get all of these right. That's pretty much how you play Glitch Squad. Now, just to show you the other types of things you'll be trying to guess, you'll be guessing weapons like rocks, darts, slingshot, candlesticks, can openers, and maybe a hobby. Guitar, sailing, writing, weaving, debating, TV, or you'll be doing a profession like paratrooper, newscaster, senator, guitar player, groom, things like that. Now, if you're playing with 6 players, essentially there's going to be 3 people per team, always changing. Your opponents are next to you. If there was 5 players, essentially 1 player is going to play as the private investigator, and they're going to get to glitch the first player's clue, and they're also going to add a word that they think that player is going to guess. And then that's how they get to release their password. And then a player, there'd be 4 blues and 4 yellows in a big circle. If you're playing the 3-player variant, there's 2 players on the orange team or yellow team, and they write clues and guess clues as normal, where the blue player will glitch both of these. So they'll get one, they'll glitch it, and they'll send it to the other player. They'll get this one, they'll glitch it, and they'll send it to the other player. These players are still trying to guess. This player only glitches. These players only write clues and guess. So pretty much a 3-player game. You're only playing kind of half the game there. Still works, still fun. Might be better for people that are like afraid of stage fright, and they could just write the glitches. So. All right, now before I get to my final thoughts, I want to let you know that if you like my content, there's now ways to get bonus content like first impression videos well before a review will come out, or for many games I don't even end up reviewing. You can even vote for which games get reviewed on the channel. You can also see me opening up packages and getting content earlier than everyone else. And now you can see what you're missing with a free 7-day trial at patreon.com/GameBoyGeek. All right, now as I mentioned, this was my number 3 most anticipated Gen Con release. And this was Greg's number 1, right? So this was a huge anticipation for us. By the way, if you haven't seen any of those videos, you can go back to my channel and look just last week where we let off 2 Gen Con videos, one for most anticipated, and one's for the best ones that I've already played that are releasing there. So check those out for tons of Gen Con content. This is a great follow-up to Phantom Inc., which is Resonim Games' previous release, which is amazing. If you've not played it, I'd love to bring more attention to this game because it's underrated in my opinion. It is a fantastic word-based team party game, and this is another Thinky word-based team party game. And party game, I'm putting in sort of air quotes here. It's listed as a party game on Board Game Geek, but I feel like, yeah, and we probably still just call it a party game, but it really isn't. I mean, sure, it plays a larger player count. It's team versus team. Other than that, it's a very Thinky word game. Think of Codenames, or if you've played Phantom Inc. It's more of a Thinky game that plays better at the sort of smaller player counts, as we'll talk about later. I love that everyone gives 3 one-word clues. So everyone's involved on every turn, because even though this is a team game, it's a very individual game within the team. So you win or lose with your team, but all the individuals have to be working very well on their own in order for your team to win. But everyone is giving 3 one-word clues, and everyone is glitching your opponent. And then everyone is guessing what those clues are with the opponent having glitched it. So everyone is sort of on their own, doing their own thing, but you're all working for the good of the team. I like that if you don't get it right, You get a second chance to guess. A little forensic card comes up. Maybe they have to tell you which one is the glitch. Maybe you get to ask, is this one a glitch? Things like that. And if you get it right, you still get to slide your password out. And I love that. It's really cool that you would get it right, or if you stump your opponent. If you glitch them and they didn't get it right in the first, in the 20 seconds. And I like that when you're guessing, you get as many guesses as you want during that 20 seconds. It works well. But if you get it right, whether it's during the 20 seconds or even on your last guess after the forensic card, or if you stump your opponent with the glitch, you get to pull your letter up. So sometimes you're in a whole round, you may have guessed yours right and stumped your opponent, and you get to move it twice, right? I like that aspect of it. I like the different categories of the game, of the words: locations, hobbies, weapons, professions. Keeps things fresh. There's a million cards, lots of numbers, good replayability. I like that once you have guessed your password, if you're able to sort of move up again, you get to pick somebody else on your team to move it. So it keeps you motivated, keeps you in the game. If you've figured it out, it's not just like player elimination. I like that. And I do like that everyone is involved in each round. Now, and the things that people might not like about this game, and I'll get into the biggest issue I have with the game, is this, again, as I mentioned, it is a team game, but it's also very individual. So if you're the type of player that doesn't like to play certain party games where you're like in front of everybody with a timer trying to guess something, you're not going to like this game because there's nowhere for you to hide your stage fright. Phantom Ink, you could just be a guesser and guess with everyone else, and you're never really like on the spot. If you don't like having the spotlight and people looking at you under a timer while you're guessing stuff, this isn't the game for you. However, if you play the 3-player variant, which I did play, it works well. You are only playing half the game because 2 people are on one team and they're writing clues and giving and guessing clues, and the other player's doing nothing. They're not writing or guessing, they're just glitching. So if you are a person that doesn't like the stage fright thing, or you have a problem with that, you can play the 3-player variant as just the glitcher. Or you can play the 5-player variant as the private investigator where you're glitching and writing in it or stuff like that. So I like that even though the game itself and many of the player counts might not be right for everybody, there are variants where if you had an issue with stage fright, you could still play this game as just sort of the thinker, writer type thing, and I like that. My biggest problem with the game is, this game has a similar issue that another party game, word-based sort of fun party game, Medium has. Medium is a party game where players are trying at the same time, 1, 2, 3, say the same word that connects to another word. And it's actually really fun to watch that because they get to guess, and if they're wrong, they do it again. If they do it wrong, they do it again, and they're getting closer and closer. And that's actually fun to watch. And even with that being fun to watch, when there's more than 4 players, there's still a lot of you're not doing anything but watching them. And even in a game that's that fun to watch, the downtime's an issue in that game. Here, it's not really fun to watch, that part, because you're watching someone shout a bunch of answers and you might not even be able to really quite see the 3 words written upside down. It's not as interesting. So with more than 4 players, this game was probably clearly designed with 4 players in mind. And then they figured out how to scale it and then how to do the odd player counts, which I think they did a great job with the variants, figuring out how to make it work. With more than 4 players, there's many turns that you're not directly involved. So, for example, in the 8-player game, or even in the 6-player game, half of the actual turns, you're involved writing your clues, you're involved writing the glitch, and you're involved guessing the one from the other player, right? So it's like half of the turns you are directly involved because you're fully invested. You wrote the glitch, you wrote the clues, or you're guessing. On the other ones, sure, you're invested because you want your team to get it right, or you want your team to stump the other team, but you didn't do anything for that. And so you're not as invested, and it still feels like downtime, right? So you've got that issue going on. So there's a lot of positive of having it as an individual game, right? Phantom Ink is different. It's team versus team. You've got a clue giver. You've got a bunch of guessers all together guessing. Here, everyone is writing and guessing on their own. So it's a different twist. I like that with the 4-player. With more than 4, whether if you're 6 or 8, there's gonna be that downtime there where you're not directly involved. I would like to see a team within a team variant for the 6 or 8-player version. For the 6-player, one of the spots has 2 of the same people. The other spot for that team has just 1. So one person will be on their own, but the other 2 are together. And they're writing the clues together, they're coming up with the glitch together, and they're guessing together. With the 8 players, you basically set up like a 4-player game, but in each spot there's 2 people sitting there. And they get to, again, write clues together, write glitches together, and guess together. That would keep the game moving fast. It would keep you involved in as many of the turns as possible. And it would be more of a team-filled based game, you know, but it still would work well. I think that's a decent variant to try. I don't usually do this for games, but you know, I like this game so much. I'd like to see it a little, you know, I want to see people more involved in more turns. Or if you really want to have the 6 or 8 different chairs and everyone offering individually, then allow people to, hey, when I'm guessing my password, hey, it's SAL. What do you think, guys? And my teammate, maybe you have the 20-second timer. Maybe it's salamander, maybe it's salmon, and you know, they come up with some ideas for you. Then you can decide A, if you want to guess, and B, which guess is yours. You have the final say. And maybe you could say, allow other players on your team shout out words when you're guessing as well. Help them help you guess. It's a little harder because, again, they might tell you 3 words. It might be upside down. You might not really get that in your head. It works. It's okay. It's not bad. It still works. The game is still great. And it might sound like this is a negative review. It's not. I love this game. It's awesome. I just see the problems that another game like this had and what we did to fix that. And this, I think, my little team variants, I think, would fix the issues people might have with downtime in this game as well. With all that being said, this is a fantastic party game. Greg put it as number 1. I put it as my number 3. This is one of those special party games that is absolutely going to be on my Party Game of the Year list, my short list as I get down to the end of the year. Granted, it's not really a party game. It's just a team-based game with a lot of players. That's very Thinky. But it's probably still going to be in the party game category. But it is. It's a fantastic game. It definitely lived up to what I hoped it would be. And for all those reasons, I'm putting it in my gaming library, so it is getting inducted with a saxophone and serenade. This has been the Game Boy Geek, breaking down barriers, growing relationships with board games by helping you find the next one you love. Let's hit it. Game Toppers not only transforms your existing table into a high-quality gaming solution, but they now offer full leg kits and dining cover solutions for the full table application. Paired with over 20 styles of thematic game mats in 11 different sizes from notable board game artists like Vincent Dutray, collapsible cup holders, and real cool accessories, experience what thousands of other gamers enjoy by upgrading every game you play with a Game Topper system. Save hundreds of dollars on Game Topper package deals that are in stock now for immediate shipping at GameToppersLLC.com or click the link below.